Hi everyone, I'm Chibuzo Machuku. A 6-year-old girl and her parents were shot and wounded after a basketball accidentally got into the yard of a neighbor. This happened this past Tuesday, not long after the last three shootings reported due to blunders. Now, this incident happened in Gaston County, North Carolina. The girl is Kinsley White. Her parents are William White and Ashley Hilderbrand. It started when a group of kids were playing basketball. The ball accidentally got into the yard of this neighbor, Robert Louis Singletary, who then got upset about it. When the kids went there to retrieve the ball, Singletary yelled at them using foul language. One of the kids who got offended told his father about it, and the father showed up talking to Singletary against yelling at the kids, promising he would work it out. However, Singletary went back in and pulled out a gun. He started shooting at the neighbors. He got to the 6-year-old girl, Kinsley, and her family, who all had nothing to do with the ball tossed into his yard. He shot Kinsley, wounding her on the left cheek. Her left cheek was stitched after the doctors had to remove the bullet fragments from there. Her mother, Ashley, had a graze from the shooting. Her father, William, was seriously wounded that he's in the hospital right now. He got himself wounded by shielding his daughter and the rest of the family. He did the shielding to protect them. Meanwhile, Robert Louis Singletary has been arrested. After his actions, he fled to avoid arrest. But he was afterwards arrested in Florida. He turned himself in and also waived his right to fight against his extradition. I'll roll the clips for you to hear about the event.
Why did you shoot my daddy and me?
An incomprehensible question from a 6-year-old. Kinsley White, stitches in her cheek from where doctors had to remove bullet fragments, was just riding her bike while other kids played basketball when gunshots rang out in her North Carolina neighborhood.
It was rapid. As he was running across his yard, he had his arm outstretched and he was like, pow, 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 pow.
Witnesses say when a basketball rolled into Robert Singletary's yard, he began yelling and cursing at the kids, which neighbors say wasn't unusual. But what happened next when the father of one of the kids playing basketball came to talk to Singletary was.
The guy was standing on his porch, and the dad that had words with him about, saying stuff to the kids, he had started walking back down the street, and he started, the shooter just started running across the yard, shooting.
That man surprisingly got away unharmed, but then neighbors say that Singletary started walking in the direction of the other kids and parents on the street and began shooting.
He started shooting with my daughter standing right there beside of him and several other kids around them.
Kinsley's father ran to protect his daughter.
He looked at my husband dead in the face and he said, "I'm going to kill you."
Kinsley and her father were both shot while trying to run away. A bullet grazed Kinsley's mother's arm.
She had a big fragment of a bullet in her cheek.
According to a man who lived at the same house, Singletary's girlfriend rented a room there, and the 24-year-old suspect began staying with her a few weeks ago.
I don't have too much interaction with him. I had no idea anything like this was going to go on.
Neighbors said Singletary was often yelling at kids about playing in the yard.
He acted like he just hated children.
According to police, Singletary was arrested on assault and kidnapping charges in December, accused of hitting a girlfriend in the head with a mini sledgehammer. He has not entered a plea. CNN has contacted his attorney. Gaston County's police chief put out a statement letting the people of Gaston County know this sort of violence will not stand.
They let all the kids sign it.
This incident on the heels of a week already plagued by several gun violence tragedies, leaving a community in utter fear.
It's very scary. Very scary.
This country obviously has gun issues. This is another time a shooting happened due to a blunder. The first of the three that happened shortly before that are the shooting of Ralph Yarl in Missouri, which happened on Monday last week. He went to pick up his twin brothers at the wrong place. The owner of that place shot him and wounded him. That he went to the hospital. Luckily, he was discharged from the hospital, and I believe he's still recovering. Next, this past Saturday, Kaylin Gillis was shot fatally after she and her friends turned into the wrong driveway during their search for a friend's place. Her killer, like the guy that shot Ralph Yarl, is in custody. Third, the shootings of two cheerleaders after one of them mistook a car for hers. It happened in the early hours of Tuesday after the cheerleaders wrapped up a practice session. And now, just because a basketball went into someone's yard, the shooting occurred. This is crazy. A lot of people cannot control themselves. They cannot tolerate a single thing. A ball going into someone's yard does not put the person's life at risk. That was no big deal. Singletary made such a big deal out of it. He verbally abused those kids. And now, when a kind guy from the area, from the neighborhood, offered to work it out with him, he got violent about it and took it out on all the people of the neighborhood. He shot members of a family, the 6-year-old girl, Kinsley, and her parents, who all had nothing to do with it. This is like absolutely crazy. I could be wrong, but the people of the neighborhood, they are nice. I don't understand why this guy will shoot at them. What is wrong with him? I don't think that is it. As a black guy who is sick of this stupid white supremacy, I would like to be fair to white people, even those that are supremacists. If it's assumed that Ralph Yarl was shot for being black, then it should be fair that those people were shot by Singletary for being white. That is what it looks like to me. It's not just the kids that he shot at the adults as well, and he had that nasty attitude. I heard that the guy that shot Ralph Yarl, Andrew Lester, was exposed by his grandson as a racist. Now, if I knew Singletary personally and he admitted to me that he hated whites, I'd reveal it to the police and to the neighbors. I would. Yes? I'm sure that in response to this incident, some people are asking for him to be charged for hate crime. There's a big chance that he is a hater and that he committed hate crimes. It is very unfortunate that people have to be like perfect when doing things in their lives. To get to your car, you have to make sure that it is your car. In other words, the right car. To locate someone's place, you have to make sure it's the right place. To get into a private property, of someone, you have to make sure that it's the right property. And now, to play a sport that involves a ball, whether it's like basketball, soccer, football, tennis, table tennis, whatever game, you have to make sure that the ball does not get into anyone else's yard. This is truly crazy. I hope that the 6-year-old girl who had to go through this, even though she had nothing to do with it, I mean Kinsley, recovers. I hope her mother actually recovers. And I hope her father, William, recovers and gets discharged from the hospital really soon. It's very sad that they had to go through this. I hope that Singletary does not get away with what he did. He can't be allowed to go free. He needs to stay behind bars for his actions. Share your thoughts. I would appreciate you liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.